Before I get into this video, I do want to vehemently shout out the creators who made this video possible, that being The Beak and Miko here on YouTube. I personally had no idea about this subject matter until I found The Beak's initial video on this subject, which did pop up in my search algorithm, just letting him know. And that video sourced Miko's, and from there we kind of get the full picture. It's important to me to shout out these outstanding humans right now on the onset of this video because they both deserve love and support for the work they have done. They found out all this information, and chances are they're not going to get that because they are relatively smaller channels. It's all too common for videos like theirs to be sourced by bigger channels without actually being directly credited. And as someone who has had that happen to her before countless times over by creators who literally have more than double my subscriber count, I don't want to perpetuate that. Also, both of these cats make amazing content and you should definitely go watch it. I'm going to leave their info in the description box down below, so if you are all interested in the detectives who found all of this out and watching genuinely interesting content from these two, check them out there. Also, this video is brought to you by my channel members, aka the people who make YouTube worthwhile, since the majority of my videos are demonetized by YouTube themselves. Mainly because I like to use no-no words and talk about uncomfortable subject matter. Like, obviously, YouTube, the stickler that it is, isn't gonna monetize me. My members are dope because they literally allow me to make content I want without worrying about if it's family friendly or not, and I love that for them. They also get alright perks, which, you know, gotta be honest, they're not the best. Like, being able to get a full discount on my merch, meaning they get it at the absolute cheapest price, I make no commission, and they get my videos a day or so early. So if you're interested in becoming a channel member, hit the join button down below. Of course, you don't have to. I will love you regardless. It does not matter. Do not feel pressured. I'm sorry I did this. Oh my god. With that being said, let's talk about the new information coming out about MiniLad and how he has been actively using his channel to groom minor fans since at least 2016, when he was called out originally by Keemstar for doing so. So without further ado, let's get into this. For those of you who don't remember, this is MiniLad, real name Craig Thompson. Craig is currently 26 years old and was called out last year for having many inappropriate relationships with minors. Because remember, he'll pretend like it was just one. It was not. According to Craig, it wasn't that bad because they hadn't actually met up with either of these girls he talked to sexually while they were in high school, even though on one occasion he actually did make plans to meet up with one of the girls while she was visiting California on a family trip. It was super weird to me that his response video, as well as articles made about the subject matter, make it a point to say, well, like, it's not that bad. Craig never actually assaulted these girls he spent months grooming and talking to sexually, even though he knew they were overage. At least he didn't meet up with them, right? They all tried to shift the narrative like that, and it weirds me out. They try to make that point, knowing damn well that he was actually going to take a girl away from her family vacation for the express purpose of taking her virginity. They say it so confidently that I actually had to go back and make sure that Craig, yeah, he did do that. I had to watch multiple videos and be like, okay, so this person said they did. Well, let me fact check, because they're so confident. No, he did that. But so many articles made it a point to say that I was like, oh yeah, at least he didn't do that, even though he actively tried to and only didn't because she once again was on a family vacation with her family and couldn't sneak out to be with him because once again, she was with her family because she's a minor. Like, you don't get points for not doing something that you were going to do because the other person didn't allow you to do it. Like, if I said I shouldn't be charged with attempted murder because the person I was going to kill didn't drink the cup I poisoned, like, dude, you still tried. It's still illegal. You're still fucked. Craig was called out because he manipulated a couple of his fans, who were all under the age of 18, into carrying on sexual conversations with him and got them to send images of themselves via app like Twitter and Snapchat. He groomed them, talked to them about how they were so beautiful and amazing and how he adored them and loved them, but made sure to tell them not to tell anyone because everyone else just wouldn't get them, that everyone would be jealous and tear them apart. He went through the entire predator bingo sheet, telling these girls that he loved them, but the world just wasn't ready for them, that they meant so much to him, but if people were to find out, they would demonize their love. And on the occasions when the girls wouldn't comply with his wishes, he would expressly tell these minors that he would literally hurt himself and that would cause thousands of other people to then hurt themselves, and that these two minor girls who he literally spent months grooming and taking advantage of, that they would have the blood of him and his fans on their hands. I'm not being hyperbolic. This absolute idiot told teenage girls he was grooming, that if they talked about how he groomed them, if they told the truth about what they did, that he would commit unalive and thousands of others would commit unalive because he mattered so much to them, that these girls would be responsible for thousands of deaths. Like, sir, you make reaction content. You are not such an idyllic figure that people would follow you into the great beyond. The fucking audacity to say that is insane. Not to mention how abusive that is to say to a minor. My god. So that's Craig Thompson as we know him. That's the entire MiniLad controversy as quickly as possible as we know it. So what is this new information? What did Miko and the Beak sleuth out that makes this situation even worse, to the point where I'm talking about it once again? Well, you see, they found another girl who was groomed by Greg. A girl who never came forward herself. A girl girl whose DMs were exposed in 2016 who did actually fucking meet Craig when he was 21. And let me tell you, it's disturbing. So let me introduce you to Sarah. According to Sarah's Instagram account, she was a 14-year-old girl living in somewhere, either Australia or Britain, I cannot tell, doing things that 14-year-old girls do, which is mainly stanning. Sarah was at the peak age where her hormones overruled her brain, meaning that she belonged to the most active demographic known to man. But Sarah, back in 2016, wasn't into boy bands and the like, or at least from what we can outwardly see from her account, she wasn't. No, back in 2016, when she was literally 14 years old, she was a massive fan of Minilad, so much so that she met him at least one occasion. I say at least one because if I was just to go off her Instagram, she has a lot of pictures with him, pictures that I can't find anywhere else on the internet, that I can't find outside her Instagram, leading me to think that they are taken by her and are new for her. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are her photos. So that whole bit about how he's never met one of these girls, he's had sexual conversations in real life, he never talked inappropriately with them offline, that seems a bit fucking fake when you see the photos of him and once again a 14-year-old girl together who he did talk sexually to. But maybe she was just a fan. I hear you saying maybe these photos are from a meetup, so it's not that bad. Maybe this was just an innocent encounter and he didn't have a discussion with this 14-year-old girl about her chat. Oh wait, was I that specific about something happening because something like that did in fact happen? Back in 2016, Craig and Sarah's DMs were leaked where they said that, and then she got sent a plethora of hate on her account with people telling her to delete herself off the internet because she's attacking Minilad, even though she would be the victim here. So let me read those DMs, shall I? She said, "Yeah, I understand that. It's cool. Great. Don't worry about it. I understand that, and aw, that's sad. Well, I hope you find someone worth it." Craig says, "Someday I will, smiley face. I know you will too." And she replies, all caps, "I want Dad D." And he said, "No holding back anymore. Ha 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 ha. Our age gap is far too big, Sarah. It's too big anyways, frowny face." Which, just so we are clear, as an adult woman with a very small internet presence who has talked to multiple people in my life, like at least 3 times, I can say confidently, the only time you have to have that "it's not me, it's not you, but I am rejecting your advantage" speech, that thing, the only time when they come up like this, where this person thinks they can be in a relationship with you because she's saying, "I want to be with you," and he's like, "No, the age gap," is when you're already established kind of a flirty relationship. So he is here rejecting her advances, which is good. I think any man who is 7 years older than a 14-year-old telling that 14-year-old, "I can't have sex with you," that's great. A+, we love that. However, it kind of makes me think that maybe they had a super flirty relationship before this. It makes me think that maybe she had reason to think he wanted to be with her. Do we have any more of the conversation? Oh, we do. Okay, great. She said, "They're not even that big in my eyes though." Crying laughing emoji. And Craig responds, "Like even the snaps you sent earlier when you were bored, they showed their size." And she says, "Oh, fair enough. But like I said, in my eyes, they're actually not that big." And in case you were confused about what they were talking about, he says it plain as day and tells her, "Take a pic of you, side on, and compare it to celebs with big boobs." This man is talking to a 14-year-old girl about her chest and how she has big boobs. And he is telling her, "Go take a picture of your boobs from the side because you have big boobs," which is not okay. I feel like I shouldn't have to keep saying that, but this is the internet. Stupid here. And I have to say the thing constantly. Oh my God, I just realized the timestamps on this conversation were 2015. And if I'm going from this account that's been active since 2016, she would have been 14 in 2016. So at the time she's having this conversation, she is 13, which is worse. That makes it worse. They're both bad, but this is worse. And he's having sexual conversations with Sarah before they met in 2016. Jesus fucking Christ, man. Also, just so you guys know, when these DMs initially linked because someone hacked her account and leaked them, she didn't link them because she loved him. She was a stan of his. She wasn't going to do that to him because she had been groomed. But when this happened, Keemstar posted about it and was like, "Hey, this is fucked. And do you want to know what, Craig? I have never had any sexual relationships with minors. I just said I wanted to. Do you want to know what he said?" He replied to Keem's tweet and asked him if it was, quote, "a slow news stage." Sir, you had sexual conversations with a 13-year-old girl. You did that. And your response when this came out the first time was that it's not a big deal. Are you insane? Jesus Christ. The beak went on even further and found a Wattpad account that was allegedly Sarah's as well, where she posted about being sad that she can't talk to Craig anymore after the leak. And seeing how she also posted this emo post about Craig to her Instagram account before abandoning it forever, I am not surprised. So what did we learn today, class? We learned that Craig, "Don't tell anyone I asked you for sexual photos or I will unalive myself and blame you for it," is more of a piece of garbage than we initially thought he was. We know that he lied lied about never meeting a young girl in real life who he had sexual conversations with. And we know at the very least, he groomed her to the point where she blamed other people's adverse reaction to their conversations in which he was talking to her inappropriately about her breast size as the reason why they don't talk, rather than the truth, which is that he is a gross person who shouldn't have been talking to her in the first place. This is so genuinely disgusting. And I wish he would actually go to jail for this. But alas, he probably will not. With that all being said, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you think he's a great person who has done nothing wrong? Like at least 100 people have thought in my past videos on him? Or are you correct and think he's a walking pile of dog shit? And let me know all of that and more in the comments down below. But with that, I'm out of here. Later days.